Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, SSG.B, checking in with you guys here. So, the point of this video today is to talk about some of the glaring differences between the National Guard and the Army Reserve. So, a lot of people think, National Guard and the Army Reserve are the same thing. I'm going to have all the same benefits, and I can stay right here in the state. No, that's not the case. And the Army never means to demean a sister organization openly, so they're not going to say a lot about it. The National Guard would love for you to believe they're the same as the reserves. You're going to have all the same benefits and you're going to have all the same incentives. Just one right off the top of my head that I can think of is something that the Alabama National Guard has been playing with here lately. They came out and the state of Alabama said that they will pay for 100% of your college tuition. Well, let's get into that. You got to read the fine print there, guys. What they mean is they will pay for any four-year college in the state of Alabama. So, if you were looking to go to Ohio University, not necessarily a better college, just first thing I can think of off the top of my head, then you're going to be looking at it and you're going to join the Alabama National Guard, think you have funding to go. Well, guess what? You don't. It only covers colleges in the state of Alabama, and only up to 4 years. After 4 years, that's on you. Student loans, that's on you. Anything else, that's on you. And you only get it if you're in the top qualifying percent of people in the Alabama National Guard, and you get it submitted in a timely manner. They do not have an unlimited amount of funding, right? So let's say they had $5 million to commit to college funding for this year, right? So anybody knows college has two semesters a year if you don't go in the summer. So that's $2,500,000 in one semester. So let's say the average cost was $250,000, first semester for college. I realize that is a egregious exaggeration, but it is merely to make a point. So, mathematicians, calm down. You obviously know that 10 students are going to be the only people who get their college paid for that semester. So, let's say there are 200 people that apply. First 10 people that apply, that's who gets it. The other 190 of you who were promised it, guess what? You get, that's it. That's what you get. You get nothing. So that is all that's promised to you. Read the fine print on your National Guard agreement before you sign it. Don't agree to anything. Don't just join the National Guard and let them pick stuff for you. If the Army National Guard shows up, I just want y'all to practice this move right here. Non-combatant, and drop their card and leave. Obviously, guys, I'm joking. I don't have any issues with people in the National Guard. I have some issues with some misleading that the National Guard recruiters are doing. Is that to say that an active duty Army National Guard, an active duty recruiter in the past hasn't done the same thing? No, it's not. We're trying to get better about it. I honestly have never intentionally misled anyone to join the Army or Army Reserve, period, and maybe that's why I get so few recruits. I'm not sure. But just to be honest, the National Guard is state funded and the Army Reserve and the Active Army are federally funded. So the budgets are just, vastly different. While it may be the same amount of yearly spending, same percentage of annual spending spent the same year, when you have one budget that's like $2 billion and one budget that's like $2,000, guess what? Although it may be the same percentage, that's a lot more money over here than you got going over here. So a lot more money in the national defense, and they're also considering global defense and various engagements and things that we have. That is going to make a huge difference in training budget and equipment funding. for those of y'all who are unfamiliar with how that works, the Army gets equipment first. The Army Reserve gets equipment sometimes first. Mostly it's refurbished active duty equipment. It just makes the most sense. You know, you have the first in the fight, the second in the fight, and then the third. And that's just how it's going to break down. The first is going to be the most important and get the most expense spent on it. The second is going to be the second most important and get the second most amount of money spent on it. And then when you have the National Guard, which comes third, by the way, because they will buy the Army Reserve's old expended equipment, refurbish it again to make it theirs and have it run like new, which, as we all know, there is no like new. There is only new and used. Okay? That just makes sense. So, that being said, the National Guard's money that they're spending is far less than what your active duty and your Army Reserve components have to spend. That's just facts. That is not, again, my intention to demean any service there. So for those of you who join the National Guard and think you're going to go off and do all the exact same things that the reserves do, you're wrong. The National Guard, while it has a purpose, its purpose is mainly to provide for the state. It is not designed specifically for national defense or by any means global engagements. Now, do they get used for that purpose sometimes? Yes, they do. And that's different. What happens then is the federal government says, hey state, we're running low on personnel. What do you got that we can borrow? And you will be put on federal funding and deployed overseas in the event that you're needed. Right? So when you apply for Army Reserve, let's say you did it in the great state of Alabama again, right? You can go anywhere you want. Army Reserves are a nationwide place. And to boot, our college benefits are nationwide, as long as it is a accredited college and not the International College of Basket Weaving run by the Brotherhood of Sword Swallowers or whatever. If it's a nationally accredited college, you have at least 4 years that you get paid for through the Montgomery GI Bill or post 9/11 GI Bill on its own. After that, we have what's called tuition assistance. That is a program that will pick up where the 9/11 or the Montgomery GI Bill or the post 9/11 GI Bill leave off in your 4 years. If you want to continue your education, the way those work, that's very similar to the Alabama state funding right there. It's going to be the first people that apply for it, and it's going to be based off of budget. Now, the GI Bill and the post 9/11 GI Bill are different. Those are managed by the VA, and when you join, the government writes a check to the VA for your benefits. That's there for the rest of your career. Now, should you choose to transfer those benefits to a dependent of your choice, qualifying spouse or significant other, or a child, you can indeed pass those benefits on to your child, and those benefits will go straight to them. You can give them a percentage of it if you've used some of it, whatever. If you want to give them 100%, that's great. And then they can go to college off of your commitment. There's a lot of stipulations with that, so read all the fine print on those agreements before they're made. Now, you can't transfer to unqualifying dependents. They have to legally be your dependents. So, again, like I said, there's a lot of stipulation on it, but I know the broad strokes, and there's just a lot more benefits to being reserved than there are National Guard. So, kind of covered the training and the purpose. And again, guys, I mean, if you have any remarks or different opinions, feel free to share it in the comments. I'm more than happy to engage people in the comments and have a good discussion. If you intend to demean or make fun of either one, I'm probably just going to delete that comment, guys, and I'm not going to dignify it with a response, because as I've said before, I have friends in the reserves. I did the reserves for 18 years, have friends in the National Guard, did the Guard, well, shouldn't say that I did it. I considered doing it. I considered doing it as active National Guard. Didn't work out. Like I said, it's kind of a personal thing. So I stayed with the Army Reserve, and I became active duty through the Army Reserve. So that was my choice. But guys, if y'all want to talk about it and you want some answers, to some problems and things that you're having, or some questions that you just have in general, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. Of course, I'm on YouTube. Feel free to watch some of my other videos and subscribe. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you.